In the United States, we're very proud of being a melting pot, of being open land that settlers could come to, and my own ancestors did. One of my ancestors wrote a home to England saying, "Come on over, Abe. This is a place where a man can make a rise." And of course he could. But living here in Mexico, I realized that it was the same in Mexico. It's the new world. But the peninsula wasn't settled by Europeans until Padres Quino and Padre Salvatierra started trying to bring the Christian church over. They had drought and then flood and then epidemic and then earthquake and then drought and flood and epidemic. So it was tough. The original mission that they built was of adobe. It wasn't in that site. The adobe mission, which was large and used for a long, long time, was over against the mesa on the south edge.
Underneath the revelry, it's hard to keep your pulse in time.
They saved this site of our stone mission because it was an outcropping of stone. And it's up above the floodplain. The flood can come almost to the foot of the back wall below the mission, but it can't get up there.
The void ain't cold.
There was a very active padre here, Padre Concepcion, a Croatian. And many of us think that he did begin it, but there's really no evidence of it. The Jesuits had become unpopular in Europe and were thrown out. The Franciscans came in and they wrote an inventory, a description. And the church they described in detail was still the adobe church over by the mesa. But then as a little afterthought, they described, and there is also a church of stone, the beginnings of a church of stone. The front is built somewhat, and the two front chapels are completed, and the walls from the front toward the rear in a stair step down. So we know what stage it was at that point. In 1768. The walls are made of basalt, and you can see that. All the tops of the mesas are covered with basalt. It's everywhere. But the decorative carved stone is a very fine grained stone called cantera, and it's pinkish. It's really lovely. And that's more volcanic. The crowning touch was the roof. It's an arched, domed roof. That's a style called bóveda, and it's made of stone. You make it with a series of arches, and then you end up with a vault. They didn't have, that was the only choice. They had to do it with stone. We have stone. Our fan palms make good lumber if you split the trunk, but not enough for that. It was completed in 1786. And then the facade, the decorative symbols on the facade are Dominican, because it was completed by the Dominican order.
Today's the day we're officially leaving San Ignacio, which is a little bit bittersweet, to be honest. But before we go, I really wanted to dive into the history of this place a little bit. And I'm excited to say that aqueduct that we keep stumbling across, it's directly related to the mission. It starts on the other side of the spring, runs all the way into town, and still actually provides water for several of the buildings here in the square. So it was nice to be able to bring those two stories together. And Jane pointed out a couple fascinating things on the mission here that I'll show you before we head out of town. The whole mission is built out of these massive stones, which is already very impressive, but then they went and plastered over top of all of it with this to make it look like it's made out of big marble blocks. And then here, you can tell they'd lost track of their measurement or something, and it's not level at all, or straight. You'll also notice along the bricks on the top here, there's Roman numerals, and it's only in this spot. Nobody knows why those bricks are numbered. All in all, pretty beautiful spot. Let's whip it out of here.
4 tires in a tank full of freedom. Threw my worries out the window. Need some exit sign flying by on a Friday night, going fast. Wasting gas don't feel so right. Slowing down feels like we're giving up. Full moon, left foot, can't get enough. Pull off, find the exit on the interstate. Take a 2-way, 2-lane getaway.
Here we go, back on the road. Hopefully just a short, easy travel day today. It's only 100 and something kilometers. We're heading to a little town called Santa Rosalia, which is back on the ocean. Very much looking forward to being coastal again. Here's the road. One of my favorite things about these Mexico roads, really keep you on your toes. By the time you get used to how narrow they are, they throw you some switchbacks. I'd like to tell you a few things I've learned about this road that I'm driving on here. I can tell you for certain it starts somewhere. I can also tell you for certain it goes somewhere. But what I know for sure, everything in between, absolute trash heap. Total change of plans here. We got into Santa Rosalia. It wasn't really what I was looking for, so we pushed on to Bay of Concepcion, and this place is unbelievable. I think this will be home for the next few days at least. We finally have a day without wind, so I thrashed around, got the boat prepared. We're heading out to do some exploring on the ocean. Look at that school of bait fish. I purposely didn't bring a fishing rod so that I could just enjoy being out in the boat. I need to go back and get a fishing rod. Look at this water, you guys. This is the frickin' weather I've been waiting for. Whoa. Lead on a potential shipwreck. I don't have any gear or anything with me right now, but while it's calm, we're gonna go and scope it out. Oh my God. The directions I was given state if you draw a line from that abandoned house over there and that gazebo on top of the hill, right where they meet is where the shipwreck is. So we're like right in the area. It should be right here somewhere. I can't find this thing, and with the water being as clear as it is, should be no problem to see it from the surface. So we're gonna put the drone up, see if we can spot it from the air.
Has been updated. Please check it on the map.
I think I found it. There it is. It's quite shallow, but I think I definitely want to come back and do some diving here. We're gonna go back to the motorhome and grab some gear. It's just such a perfect day today. I can't push this stuff off till tomorrow because you never know if it's gonna be windy. A few videos back, I dropped a hint about getting some specialized fishing gear. First of all, fishing gear. We'll dive into that in a future episode. So I went all the way to Ensenada to get spearfishing gear, and it's something I've always wanted to try, and it's an option here in the Sea of Cortez. I saw lots of triggerfish around that shipwreck, so we're gonna drop anchor and give it a try. I can't wait. Well, that's on the bottom. We'll see if it holds us. You guys know I've had horrendous luck with anchors in the past. So we'll see how this does. So far it's working. First day of spearfishing, bit of a bust. I gotta work on my breathing big time because I don't have much range with this. It's just a pole spear. I think tomorrow I'll try a different spot, or a couple spots anyways. Having a blast with it though. Feels great to get back in the water. A bunch of triggerfish hiding in the rocks here. This might be our spot. I have some very exciting news. Look at, got my first fish on the spear. It's a pargo, which I've never tried before, so I'm excited to cook that baby up for dinner tonight. This was a lot more difficult than I thought it was gonna be, so I'm feeling very proud to finally have my first fish on the spear. Also feeling very cold. Let's head back to the motorhome. Before we move on to our next adventure, I want to show you guys a little something that might help some of the other remote adventurers out there. When you're boating on salt water, it's really important to flush your outboard afterwards. So I rigged up a special thing here for mine. This valve comes directly from my freshwater tank and the water pump. And then there's an attachment underneath that just goes to this hose. And when I open the valve here, it goes into my outboard. And then I got fresh water going through all the ports to flush out my outboard. And I just use a cloth right here, and then I can wipe down the boat. And then she's ready for the next adventure. The boat is fully loaded, and we are heading out on our first big ocean adventure here in Mexico. We're heading out of the Bay of Concepcion to the open ocean, where I have a lead on a potential German ghost town and hopefully some larger fish. Might make a couple friends here. Look at them all. Oh my God. Oh! Wow! So many! I can see some iron equipment up on the shore here. I hope this isn't the ghost town we're looking for. I don't think we're gonna have any problems today. The ocean's pretty calm, weather's good. But every time I find myself exploring on the open ocean, the very beginning of it is that very specific uneasy feeling that you get. You know, like that ex-girlfriend that you'll always be in love with, but then you remember just how cruel and powerful she was, and she could probably kill you pretty easily. It's one of those feelings. You guys know the feeling. The top of this ridge here, just covered in old stone foundations. That could be it. I don't know. I can see a spot up here we can pull the boat ashore. Some big rocks in the water here. I gotta be careful. We'll hop on land and check it out anyways. This is actually pretty remarkable. There is a lot left here. That looks to be tailings all right there. Unfortunately, I haven't the slightest idea what they were mining here. The only information I have is that this was a German town and mine out here. That's it. This was quite a setup at some point. Look at that view. Can't complain about that. Look at all just the random rocks they mixed in with the cement here. Wow. Like, this is actually cool stonework that they've done here. I think aesthetics was not their intention, but I really like it. I wonder if maybe sections of this were built at different times or expanded onto, because these are totally different. This is wild that it's just sitting out here. I wish I knew some of the history behind it, even just to know the age. Being up on top of the hill, I'm guessing this was either some sort of management building overseeing the mill, or it was stage one of the milling process and then gravity fed down to the other spots. I'm guessing the latter. Not much left of the old road coming over here. I just love the cement job they did here. Mix in any kind of gravel you can find. Call it cement. This one had different rooms actually in the back. Wow. So I think let's climb up to this big one over here, and then we'll go across, check that out over there. I love this place. At first I thought these were kilns, but I don't think so. I think that's just a hole where they could transport the material out to the next stage. curious why that's a different material. Look at how large this is. I'm assuming all the supplies they would have had to bring over by boat. Shoot, can't get through that prickly bush. Just keeps on going. That's interesting. With the amount of infrastructure set up here, I would expect to see more tailings. But what I think has happened is they kind of just built their own real estate. I think as they expanded, they built tailings along the cliffside here. I'm pretty sure these are all tailings actually. Whereas when I first came in, you can see that's a big tailings pile there. That's all been worked tailings. And then over here, there's some too, but I think this whole hillside actually is tailings. Really curious what this would have been. It's the only thing on this side. And this whole area is obviously the site from the mill. There would have been a town site close by as well, but that would have been out of wood. And judging from the condition of the rest of this stuff, there'd be nothing left of the wood. So we're not even gonna go looking for it today. There's a dead bird right here and a dead pufferfish. Look at that guy. Dried right out. I wonder if the bird tried to eat the pufferfish and couldn't quite hack it. More so, oh, this one's a triggerfish. Look at all these bones here. I don't know what that is, some type of bird. Total freaking murder zone right here. Let's go do some fishing. This is going on the ditch rod, just a little minnow. And I'm trying to yellow crocodile on the big rod. Doubled up. Whoa! Look at this guy go! Beautiful looking fish though. Wow! Okay, there we go. I thought it was dragging on the ground, but there's a fish on here. Look at him. Sweet. I don't know where the fish went, but they're not hungry anymore. But I'll tell you who is hungry. This guy. I'll load up, head back to camp, and I think I'll end the episode here. It's been a jam-packed one. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. I'll catch you on the next one.